You know what most men miss? The truth that's right in front of them. She's already showing you. She's already telling you. But she's not using words. And that's exactly why you're confused. Because you're waiting for her to say it when her body has been screaming it for weeks. Here's the thing about female attraction that nobody talks about. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, her body betrays her long before her mouth ever does. And I don't mean betrays in a negative way. I mean her nervous system, her subconscious mind, her entire behavioral operating system starts running a program she doesn't even know she installed. She touches her hair. She laughs too loud. She gets awkward. She stalks your Instagram at 2 a.m., and she has no idea she's doing half of it. This isn't manipulation. This isn't a game. This is psychology. This is what happens when attraction overrides logic, when emotion hijacks behavior, when the primitive brain takes the wheel and the conscious mind is just along for the ride. And if you know what to look for, you'll never wonder again whether she's interested. You'll just know. So let me show you exactly what happens when a woman likes you, what her body does without permission, and why these signals are more reliable than anything she'll ever say out loud. Because words lie. Behavior doesn't. Let's start with the most universal, most misunderstood signal of female attraction: the hair. You've seen it 1,000 times. A woman talking to a guy she likes, and suddenly her hand goes to her hair. She twirls it. She tucks it behind her ear. She runs her fingers through it. She adjusts her ponytail even though it doesn't need adjusting. And then, 30 seconds later, she does it again. Why? Because touching her hair is a self-soothing behavior. It's what the nervous system does when it's overwhelmed by positive anxiety. When she's near someone she's attracted to, her body enters a low-level state of arousal. Not sexual arousal necessarily, though that can be part of it. I'm talking about psychological arousal. Her heart rate increases slightly. Her palms might get a little sweaty. Her thoughts speed up. And her body needs to do something with that nervous energy. So she touches her hair. It's the same reason people tap their feet when they're anxious or fidget with their phones when they're uncomfortable. The body needs a release valve for tension. And for women, hair is the easiest, most socially acceptable target. But here's what makes this signal so powerful. She doesn't know she's doing it. That's the key. When you see a woman consciously flip her hair in a slow, deliberate, look at me kind of way, that's performance. That's intentional. But when you see her constantly, almost compulsively, adjusting her hair, tucking it, playing with it, moving it from one side to the other, that's involuntary. That's her nervous system responding to you. And involuntary signals are the most honest signals you'll ever get. Now, hair touching doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's usually accompanied by other physiological tells. She might suddenly feel warm. You'll see her take off her jacket or roll up her sleeves even though the temperature hasn't changed. She might fan herself with her hand or complain about how hot it is in the room. This isn't random. Attraction triggers a subtle increase in body temperature. Blood flow increases. The sympathetic nervous system activates. And suddenly she's warmer than she was 5 minutes ago. She also might not be able to sit still. She'll shift in her seat. She'll cross and uncross her legs. She'll lean forward, then back, then forward again. This restlessness is her body trying to manage the energy spike that comes with being near someone she's attracted to. Think of it like this. Attraction is stimulation, and stimulation demands movement. A woman who's genuinely interested in you will have trouble being physically still around you, especially in the early stages when the attraction is fresh and unprocessed. But let me tell you about one of the sneakiest, most underrated signs of interest: the proximity walk. You're in a social setting, a party, a class, a work event, and you notice that she keeps walking past you. Not directly to you, not making obvious eye contact, but near you. She's talking to her friend, laughing, seemingly unaware of your presence. But she's doing it in your line of sight. She's making sure you see her. This is strategic positioning, and most women do it subconsciously. She's not brave enough yet to approach you directly. She doesn't want to seem desperate or obvious, but she wants you to notice her. So she creates opportunities for interaction. She walks past you, hoping you'll initiate. She lingers in spaces where you are, increasing the statistical likelihood that you'll start a conversation. And here's the brilliant part. She'll often touch her hair or smile while doing this, even if she's supposedly talking to someone else. Because on some level, she knows you might be watching, and she wants to look good while you're watching. This is called peacocking without peacocking. She's displaying without making it look like a display. Now let's talk about the behavior shift. This one is huge, and it's where most guys get confused. When a woman likes you, her behavior around you will be noticeably different than her behavior around other people. The key word here is different. Not necessarily better, just different. Some women get quieter when they're around someone they like. They become more reserved, more careful, more calculated. Why? Because they're terrified of saying the wrong thing. They're monitoring every word, every gesture, every reaction. They're in their head, trying to control the interaction, which ironically makes them seem less spontaneous. Other women go the opposite direction. They get louder, more animated, more energetic. They laugh harder. They tell more stories. They dominate the conversation. Why? Because they're trying to impress you. They're in performance mode, trying to be the most interesting, most fun, most memorable version of themselves. Both reactions come from the same root. She cares what you think of her, and that's the signal. Not the specific behavior, but the inconsistency. If she's normally loud and extroverted but becomes quiet and shy around you, that's a tell. If she's normally calm and collected, but becomes hyper and talkative around you, that's also a tell. You're looking for the deviation from her baseline. Here's how you identify this. Pay attention to how she acts around other guys, around her male friends, her coworkers, her classmates. Is she relaxed? Casual? Does she joke easily? Does she make eye contact without hesitation? Now watch how she acts around you. If there's a shift, if there's a change in energy, you're seeing attraction in real time. And one of the most common manifestations of this shift is what I call the awkward phase. She becomes clumsy. She drops things. She stumbles over her words. She laughs at things that aren't funny. She makes weird jokes that don't land. She repeats herself. She over-explains things. This is cognitive overload. Her brain is so focused on managing her attraction to you that it doesn't have enough processing power left over for normal social functioning. So she gets awkward. And most guys misinterpret this. They think, she's acting weird around me. She must not like me. Wrong. She's acting weird around you because she does like you. She's so worried about making a good impression that she's sabotaging herself in real time. The irony is, the more she likes you, the weirder she might act. At least in the beginning. Let's talk about the apology reflex. When a woman is interested in you, she'll apologize for things that don't require an apology. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Sorry, that was a dumb question. Sorry, I'm being annoying. Why does she do this? Because she's hyper-aware of how you're perceiving her, and she's assuming the worst. She thinks she's talking too much, even if she's not. She thinks her questions are dumb, even if they're perfectly reasonable. She thinks she's being annoying, even if you're enjoying the conversation. This is insecurity driven by investment. She cares, so she's afraid she's messing it up. And the apologies are her way of preemptively managing your potential negative judgment. Here's the beautiful part. If she didn't care, she wouldn't apologize. She'd just talk, ask questions, and be herself without monitoring your reactions. So when you hear those unnecessary apologies, what you're really hearing is, I'm invested in what you think of me. And investment is interest. She'll also offer help you didn't ask for. Do you need a ride? I can send you those notes. Let me know if you need help with that project. Even if you're perfectly capable of handling it yourself, she's creating reasons to interact with you, to be useful to you, to stay in your orbit. This is the psychology of service. When we like someone, we instinctively look for ways to add value to their life. Because adding value creates connection, and connection creates opportunities. So if she's constantly offering to help you, to do things for you, to make your life easier, she's not just being nice. She's building a bridge between you and her. Now, let's shift to something more visible. The effort. When a woman is interested in you, she will put more effort into her appearance on days she knows she'll see you. This is one of the most reliable indicators of attraction because it requires conscious planning and energy expenditure. Think about it. Getting ready takes time. Doing makeup, choosing an outfit, styling hair, this isn't accidental. She's doing it because she wants to look good for you. But here's the subtlety. She might not do this every single day. She might not do it in an obvious, over-the-top way. But on days when she knows you'll be around, there will be a noticeable upgrade. Her outfit will be more put together. Her makeup will be more carefully applied. She might wear perfume when she normally doesn't. She might wear her hair down instead of in a ponytail. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice the pattern. Interesting. She always seems to dress up on Tuesdays. And then you realize, Tuesdays are when you have class together. Tuesdays are when you're both at the office. Tuesdays are when she knows she'll see you. This isn't vanity. This is strategy. She's maximizing her chances of catching your eye, of making an impression, of being remembered. And it works, doesn't it? Because here you are, noticing. Let's talk about who initiates. In most casual friendships or acquaintanceships, communication is relatively balanced. Sometimes you text first. Sometimes they text first. It's reciprocal. But when a woman is interested in you, she'll initiate more often. She'll text you first. She'll start conversations in person. She'll find reasons to reach out. Hey, I saw this and thought of you. Random question. Did you hear about? These are low-stakes conversation starters designed to keep the connection alive. She's not waiting for you to make all the moves. She's creating opportunities for interaction. And here's the key. The tone will be casual, but the frequency will be high. She's not sending you novels or pouring her heart out. She's keeping it light, friendly, informal, but she's doing it consistently. Because consistency is how interest expresses itself over time. If she's texting you multiple times a week without you always initiating, if she's finding reasons to talk to you in person even when there's no practical reason to, if she's keeping the conversation going even when it could naturally end, she's interested. She's building rapport. She's staying on your radar. She's making sure you don't forget about her. Now let's move into the digital realm, because this is where modern attraction plays out in ways previous generations never had to navigate. Social media has created a new language of interest, and one of the clearest dialects of that language is the story view. If she's watching every single one of your Instagram stories, every Snapchat, every post you make, she's paying attention. Not casual attention. Active, intentional attention. Think about how many stories you scroll past in a day without watching. Dozens, probably. You don't have time to watch everyone's content. So you're selective. You watch the people you care about, the people you're interested in, the people whose lives you want to stay updated on. She's doing the same thing. And if your face is showing up in her view list every single time you post something, that's not coincidence. That's her checking in on you. That's her gathering information about your life. That's her maintaining a connection even when you're not physically together. And here's the deeper layer. She might not be liking or commenting on your posts. She's just watching. Why? Because liking and commenting feels too obvious, too exposed. Watching is safer. It's invisible. Or at least, it feels invisible to her. But you can see who views your stories. And when you see the same name show up over and over day after day, you're witnessing digital interest. Now, pair this with another behavior. She's talking about you to her friends. Women process attraction socially. They don't experience interest in isolation. They bring it to their inner circle. They analyze it. They discuss it. They get feedback. So, if you notice that her friends seem to know things about you that you never told them, if they give you knowing looks when you're around, if they seem unusually friendly or smiley toward you, that's because she's been talking about you. He said this. He wore that. He did this thing. Your photos, your stories, your posts are being screenshot and shared in group chats. Her friends are weighing in. They're giving advice. They're either encouraging her or cautioning her. But either way, you're a topic of conversation. And you don't become a topic of conversation unless you matter. Here's something else to watch for. The reaction speed. When you post something, how quickly does she engage with it? If she's liking your posts within minutes, if she's one of the first people to view your story, if she's responding to your texts faster than she responds to other people, that's prioritization. We make time for what matters to us. We pay attention to what we care about. And when someone is at the front of our mind, we notice them immediately. So if you're noticing that she's consistently quick to respond, consistently engaged, consistently present in your digital spaces, she's making you a priority, and that priority is driven by interest. Let me address something important here. Not all of these signs will show up in every woman. Some women are more digitally active. Some are more reserved. Some are bolder in person. Some are more cautious. But what you're looking for is clusters. One signal in isolation might mean nothing. She touched her hair once. Okay, maybe she just had an itch. But if she's touching her hair, acting differently around you, texting you first, watching all your stories, dressing up when she knows she'll see you, and her friends seem to know who you are, that's a cluster. That's a pattern. And patterns don't lie. Human behavior is noisy. But when you see the same behaviors repeating across different contexts, you're seeing signal, not noise. You're seeing intention, even if that intention is subconscious. Let's go deeper into the nervousness response, because this is where a lot of guys get it wrong. You might think, if she liked me, she'd be comfortable around me. She'd be relaxed. She'd be confident. Not necessarily. Attraction doesn't always produce comfort. In fact, in the early stages, attraction often produces discomfort. Because attraction makes us vulnerable, it exposes us. It puts us in a position where we could be rejected, hurt, embarrassed. So when she's nervous around you, when she can't quite make eye contact, when she fidgets, when she talks too fast or too slow, she's not uninterested. She's invested. Indifference looks calm. Indifference looks relaxed. Indifference doesn't care how the interaction goes. But nervousness? Nervousness cares deeply. And you can see this nervousness in micro-expressions. The quick glance away when you catch her looking at you. The slight blush when you compliment her. The way she bites her lip or touches her neck when she's thinking about what to say next. These are involuntary physiological responses to emotional stimulation. She's not choosing to blush. She's not deciding to look away. Her autonomic nervous system is reacting to the psychological significance of the moment. And the moment is only significant because you're significant. There's also the laughter test. Does she laugh at things you say that aren't that funny? Does she smile more around you than she does around other people? Is her affect generally more positive when you're present? Laughter is a social bonding mechanism. We laugh to create connection, to show approval, to signal that we're enjoying someone's company. And when a woman is interested in you, she'll use laughter to reinforce the interaction, to encourage you, to make you feel good around her. So if your jokes are landing way better with her than they probably should, if she's finding you funnier than you objectively are, that's her attraction amplifying your humor. She's not faking it. She genuinely finds you more amusing because she likes you. Attraction alters perception. It makes us more generous, more forgiving, more easily entertained by the object of our interest. Now let's talk about conversation maintenance. When you're talking to her, does she keep the conversation going? Does she ask follow-up questions? Does she give you detailed answers instead of one-word responses? If yes, she's investing in the interaction. Think about conversations you've had with people you're not interested in. They tend to be short, surface-level, transactional. You answer the question and move on. You don't elaborate. You don't ask follow-ups. But when you're talking to someone you like, you expand. You give context. You share stories. You ask them about their experiences. You're trying to extend the interaction because you're enjoying it. She's doing the same thing with you. If she's volunteering information about herself, if she's asking about your life, your interests, your opinions, if she's keeping the dialogue alive even when it could naturally end, she wants to keep talking to you. And wanting to keep talking to someone is one of the clearest signs of interest that exists. Here's a scenario. You're texting, and the conversation reaches a natural conclusion. You've answered each other's questions. There's nothing left to say. The interaction could end. But then she texts again. So, what are you up to this weekend? Or, have you seen that new show? Or, random, but... She's reopening the loop. She's creating a new thread. She's extending the connection. That's interest. She doesn't want the conversation to end because she doesn't want the interaction with you to end. So she finds another angle, another topic, another reason to keep the dialogue going. Pay attention to this. Because a woman who's not interested will let the conversation die. She'll give you the polite exit. She'll say, okay, talk later, and actually mean it. But a woman who's interested will resurrect the conversation repeatedly. She'll find reasons to keep it alive. Let's address the complexity of mixed signals for a moment, because I know what you're thinking. But Natalie, sometimes she seems interested, and sometimes she seems distant. How do I know what's real? Here's the truth. Women are human. They have moods, they have bad days, they have moments of doubt and moments of confidence. So yes, her behavior might fluctuate. One day she's texting you constantly. The next day she's quiet. One interaction she's warm and engaged. The next, she seems distracted. This doesn't necessarily mean she's playing games or that her interest isn't real. It might just mean she's navigating her own emotions, her own fears, her own uncertainty about where this is going. What you're looking for is the trend line, not the day-to-day variation. Over the course of weeks, is she generally more engaged with you than not? Is the overall pattern one of interest, even if there are dips and fluctuations? If yes, trust the pattern. Don't overanalyze the individual moments. But if the pattern is inconsistent, if she's hot and cold in equal measure with no clear trend toward increased connection, that's different. That might be ambivalence. That might be her genuinely not knowing what she wants. And in that case, the healthiest thing you can do is create clarity. Not by demanding answers, but by observing whether her actions move toward you or away from you over time. Because ultimately, interest reveals itself through sustained action. Not perfect action. Not flawless action, but sustained action. Let me give you a framework for evaluating all of this. The investment test. Ask yourself, is she investing time, energy, and attention into knowing me and interacting with me? Time. Does she make time to talk to me, text me, see me? Energy. Does she put effort into her appearance, into conversations, into maintaining the connection? Attention. Does she notice things about me, remember details, track my social media, engage with my content? If the answer to these 3 questions is yes, she's interested. Period. You don't invest in things that don't matter to you. You don't spend resources on people you're indifferent toward. So when you see her consistently investing in you across these dimensions, you're seeing attraction. You're seeing interest. You're seeing someone who wants to be part of your life in some capacity. Now, does this mean you should just wait around for her to make the first move? No. Does this mean you should assume interest without ever verifying it? Also no. What this means is that you now have information. You have data. You have signals that can guide your decisions. If you're seeing these signs, you can move forward with more confidence. You can initiate with less fear of rejection. You can take the risk of making your interest known because the probability of reciprocation is higher. But you still have to act, because even the most interested woman in the world isn't going to chase you forever. She's giving you signals. She's creating opportunities, but at some point, you have to step into those opportunities. She's showing you the door. You still have to walk through it. And here's the final piece I want you to understand. These signals aren't a guarantee. They're indicators. They're probabilities. They shift the odds in your favor, but they don't eliminate uncertainty. Human beings are complex. Attraction is layered. Sometimes people are interested but unavailable. Sometimes they're attracted but not ready. Sometimes the signals are there, but the timing is wrong. So even if you see all of these signs, approach with respect. Approach with calibration. Approach with the understanding that she's a full person with her own thoughts, fears, and boundaries. The goal isn't to manipulate her into liking you. The goal is to recognize when interest exists so you can make informed decisions about how to proceed. Because the worst thing you can do is miss an opportunity because you didn't see the signs, or pursue someone who was never interested because you misread politeness for attraction. These signals exist to help you navigate. They're not a playbook, they're a map. And like any map, they're most useful when combined with your own observation, intuition, and emotional intelligence. So pay attention, watch the patterns, notice the clusters, and when you see them, trust what you're seeing. Because she's telling you. She's been telling you. You just have to listen. So here's what I want you to think about. Have you ever noticed these signs in someone and ignored them because you convinced yourself you were reading too much into it? Have you ever missed an opportunity because you didn't trust what you were seeing? I'd love to hear your experiences. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these signs you've noticed, or if there are other signals you've picked up on that I didn't mention. And if this resonated with you, if this gave you clarity on something you've been confused about, consider subscribing to Psychology with Natalie Whitman. Because we dive into the psychology of relationships, attraction, and human behavior every single week. And I promise you there's so much more to explore. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.